Today is the third Friday of the month. That means we have another sketch challenge. So some crafty friends and myself get together every month and we're working our way through the Make It From Your Heart Volume 6 book. This month we are on pattern 14. I actually really like this pattern. I've recreated it once before, but I love all of the little squares, the grid style. It's super simple, but you can showcase so many papers. So I am really excited to create this, and I'll give you the dimensions as we go since this book is no longer available. Because we get to show off so much paper, I'd like to bring in the Nature Sweetness. This is Stampin' Up's Nature Sweetness Designer Series paper, and I love all the foiling on that. I for sure want to bring in this piece. Look at that foiling. And the back is not foiled. So here's some nice little leaves, and it brings in that kind of brown copper color. Let me see if it should say the color here. I don't know my colors yet. It's Pebbled Path, Pecan Pie, and Gold. The gold would be the foiling. So Pebbled Path and Pecan Pie are those colors there. We also have like this grid pattern. As you can see, I've used it before, and there's that Pebbled Path. So we might bring in a little bit of that as well. And we have, this is still available on my website too, so I'll have that linked below. But this is kind of that plain paper, muted, and then on the back is more of that foiling with some white leaves. And here is that same paper. The back of this one isn't that so cool? I've used this before on my channel, so if you've been following along, you'll know that we have already dived into this, but I am so excited to use some more of this on today's layout. I am going to start by cutting some 2-inch squares. So this is a 2-inch strip here, and then I'm just going through and cutting my 2-inch squares. It appears I'll need 19 of these squares here. So I'm gonna do some in this gold foil. I might as well just cut this entire strip apart. We'll see how many I end up using. We could always use the back too. So that would be the back side. And then I want to bring in a little bit of this blue. This is close to my heart's Capri color, but if you are using Stampin' Up colors, Azure Afternoon would be a good match to Capri. I got my 2x2 squares cut out here, and I actually have 20 pieces, so one of them I don't need to use, but I don't know which color I'm gonna want set aside, or, you know. So we'll go ahead and bring in a couple Versamats and my base paper. This is close to my heart's Desert Rose color cardstock, and this is very close to Moody Mauve from Stampin' Up. So if you'd like to match that color, that is what it's closest to. As you can see, I did gut it out. So when you look at the sketch, the left-hand side has a thinner frame than the right-hand side. So that's why I cut out different size frames here. And then I am going to use white cardstock on top of that. I am waiting for my order. It is supposed to be here today in a few hours. So I am waiting for my white cardstock to come. I am completely out. And yeah, my cardstock should be here in a couple hours. So I will be using the white for that. But in the meantime, I did cut out my 4x4 squares. So these are 3x3 photos, and then the 4x4 squares. And I did those in the same papers as these. So I have my Capri, which Azure Afternoon matches pretty well. And then I have this one, the foiling, and the words. And that blue really stands out, so I may end up switching that out for a different color, but I'm not sure what I want to use yet. I could bring in that other brown one, what was that color called? That's the pecan pie. And there is, let me see if I can find it now. Here's that other pecan pie. So that coordinates with these leaves here. But I'm wondering if that'll clash. I will have the white. Here's a little scrap piece of white. I will have the white separating them, so maybe it won't look too bad. But I don't know if I like the pecan pie with this desert rose. So it doesn't look bad with just a little bit of it, but I think this is too much. That's the other side of this one. This one is so pretty, and on the other side I have just that pebble. I'm learning my colors, guys. Pebbled Path. And I think I like that better. So let's cut a 4x4 out of this, because I think that blue just, I don't know. I'm going to cut one out of this too. Maybe we'll bring this in. We'll see. So I might do some 2x2s out of this as well, so I can play around with that. In one of my card kits, I got this Stampin' Spot. These kits, they're not just card. You can get, you know, haunted house kits. You can get tag, Christmas tag kits. So Stampin' Up! Offers these kits, and some of them come with Stampin' Spots. And it's a great little small stamp pad, so you can kind of start your ink collection without buying all of the big ink pads. So I happen to have Pebbled Path, try saying that 5 times fast. I happen to have Pebbled Path, and that is this coordinating color. So I'm going to ink around my edges with this. I love these small ones to be able to ink around. Usually you see me gravitate towards my charcoal ink, but this is actually a coordinating color with this paper pack, so this is perfect. Those kits do happen to be on sale this month. So if you haven't gotten in on that sale, be sure to go check those out. I will have the link in the description box below. This foil paper doesn't allow the ink to stick too much. So you just want to go right along the edges. If you get too much on the foil, it'll just rub right off. Speaking of kits, my photos today, this one is already in a flip flap, so you're going to have to excuse the glare, is of me and some of my friends putting together some Stampin' Up! Kits. So I hosted a little gathering. We put together these birthday cards. I'll have that one linked below too, of which cards we put together. But yeah, they come with 6 different cards, well, 2 options, 3 of each card. And then it comes with tags too. You see the tag? So, yeah, some friends and I got together and we put together these birthday cards and just had a good time. So, I have a flip flap that'll go over on this side. And then I do have another picture along with some 3x3s. And I am going to be including more flip flaps too. So look at how perfectly this Desert Rose matches my 2 friend shirts. Like, did they plan on matching? I don't know. I'm wearing a lighter pink shirt, so I kind of matched them, but no, these 2 were matching and they fit perfectly with that. Here's a few more of my photos. I got these matted onto those 4x4s. So I made my girls some thank you cards with their name on them. I used them as placeholders. Kind of like name tags on the table, and then I gave them a little stamp as a thank you, and then I made some little business cards, and then I just have more pictures and journaling under those. This is another flip flap, and then these are the cards we made. So I just did a close-up of the kits that we put together. I let the girls choose which kits they wanted, but we all happened to choose the same birthday kit, so that was perfect. We could just kind of do it together. Here's another photo of all of us. Actually, minus me, I took this picture. And then they had really yummy apple cider mimosas. So look at that sugar on the rim. It was so good. And yeah, so there's more of my pictures. And then I have a nice group shot here that will go down. I actually popped this one up on 3D foam along the sides. I have my journaling printed out here along with my invite. So I'm thinking that could go right here. And maybe I'll bring blue in elsewhere just because I did already mat this one on blue and I like how that pops. So I might bring that blue in still. But yeah, so then with that foam tape, that just slides nicely into there and I can put like pull here or memories or something there and have my journaling and that extra photo right back there. So these ones, the flip flaps, I did adhere straight down to my papers that'll be inside the memory protector or the page protector. So I'll have to slice that. But this one, since I have this popped up on 3D foam tape and I have this coming out, I don't want my flip flap adhesive to ruin any of that. So this one will go on the outside of my page protector. So I'm going to do both ways on this layout, under the page protector and on top of. While I'm waiting for my white cardstock to come, I am literally watching out the window for him right now. I don't want to use any other colors because I have so much going on already and I wanted to bring in this desert rose. So I really want my white cardstock, so I am watching for him to come. But while I'm waiting, I went through and I used my outline alphabet and thin cuts, die cuts, and I cut out Girls Night Out. This is gold foil paper, which I will have linked below. It's from Stampin' Up. And then I also did Desert Rose. So Desert Rose is going to be the inside of that. And it just says Girls Night Out. Look what just arrived. Let's move this out of the way so I don't get dirt on it. I am so excited. I just opened it. I didn't actually get anything out, but woohoo! We got some enamel dots. We got some masks. These were part of the clearance. I'm excited to play with those. I got another kit. I got some embossing paste, like texture paste. What's this? I forgot what I got. Oh, these are dimensionals. I forgot I got those. I got a color coach, and this is what I've been waiting for, our white cardstock. All right, now we can keep going on our layout. So this is the same paper that Close to My Heart had, White Daisy, but Stampin' Up! Calls it White Willow. So that is the white that I got. I just like how white it is. This is just the, you know, has the name of it. So we'll need 2 pieces for my layout I'm currently working on. Let's bring these back in. And my sketch says to cut these 11 by 11 and 9 3/4 squared. So I'll go ahead and get those white pages cut. Since I inked around the other squares, I'm going to ink around these 2 with my pebbled path. So I'll just go right along the white. It just helps it stand out from that other layer behind. This couldn't have come at a better time. It literally came while I was working on this layout. I was so excited. I saw him pull up and took off running out there. Okay, so I can go ahead and get those tacked down. And what I'm going to do is just run some adhesive right along here. And same with this one. Keep it pretty close to the side on this one. I didn't give myself as much room. So this one goes on this side. And I love my Versamat for this. So I'm going in an inch, up an inch. I could probably go up just a hair more. About there. And then give ourselves a 1/2 inch here. And these Versamats are from Close to My Heart, so they're no longer available, but Stampin' Up! Has glass mats that are somewhat similar. So I'll have that linked below. It has that same grid and measurements, so it's nice to be able to get things lined up. So we can bring these back in. And I already inked around those squares. And then we can bring these in. And I'll want to ink around these two, I think, since we inked around those, just to help them pop off. But let's figure out which ones we actually want down. So we'll do 5 across the top, it shows. So 1, 2, maybe separate the foiling a little bit. Okay, and then 5 down this side. And I'm just separating the colors. So, maybe like this. Okay, and then this side gets 5 and the bottom gets 5. And then our photo goes here. So then this row needs some too. So we'll go maybe there. That looks pretty good, right? Okay, so I'm going to ink around all of these edges now. All my squares are adhered down. So let's go ahead and get this one down too. So I'm just going to remove the backing off of that foam tape. And these are the Dimensionals from Stampin' Up! So I'll have those linked below too. And it's actually just the outside of the Dimensionals. The Dimensionals are actually hexagons, and then they have this little border around. So I just used those to go around the 3 sides, and I left a little extra room up at the top without it. And then we'll go ahead and get this centered right in here. And my printer doesn't print the exact size, so this isn't exactly 4x6, and that's why there's a little extra room, but that really doesn't bother me. It's a nice frame around it. So then I have my journaling and my invite to the girls. So we'll go ahead and get that down, and it actually goes this way. So it slides right in there. I'd like something stamped up here, and I have the date on my journaling, so I don't necessarily need the date up here, but I do have these stamps from my stash, and I have Friendship, Wild at Heart, Good Things Take Time, Life is a Beautiful Ride, Choose to Shine might fit across. Let's see which one of these fits nice. Because I could always separate Captured Memories and do that one. Choose to Shine actually fits pretty good. Friendship would work perfect because these are my friends. Or of course Memories. Let's do Friendship just because it fits so well with my photos. Okay, and I'm going to use that same Pebbled Path since it's a coordinating color. And I'm going to stamp it on that foam. Okay. For the title, in our example, they show the title overlapping the pictures. I like that look, but I have my flip flap going on top of this one, so I can't have my title over this or it'll be hidden. So I'm thinking right below it might look good. But the problem with that is I'll have gold on gold, which with the Desert Rose, that might not be that big of a deal. So I think that's what I will go ahead and do. So let's lay it out. If you have these thin cuts in your stash, I like to do the outline first, adhere that down, and then adhere the inside afterwards. I'm going to use my Barely Art Glue, love the precision tip, and then my tweezers, and we'll just start adhering. It doesn't take much glue. If it does ooze out, it's not that big of a deal. It does dry clear. All of the outlines are adhered, so now we'll go ahead and do the Desert Rose. I like this thin cut. It's one of the last ones close to my heart released, so glad I got my hands on it. I got these centers put in, so now I just need to get the centers of my R and O put down. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue in there. And then bring in those centers. And there's our title. Let me pull out some embellishments. You know how much I've been loving these Secret Garden thin cuts. They're close to my heart that Stampin' Up sold. So I've been putting these on all of my layouts lately, and I feel like I need to change it up a little bit. But wouldn't that be so pretty right here? But I do have this one too. This is from the Isabella. And these are kind of larger too. And you can kind of, like these ones are already layered, so you can kind of layer them up. So then I'm thinking, well, maybe we can change up my layouts a little bit and not use the same florals over and over. And I think that's a pretty good size. So as much as I want to use this one, and maybe I'll bring in some of the leaves, because the leaves kind of look similar, especially this one. So maybe I'll bring in some leaves, but I'm actually going to bring in the Isabella collection so that my layouts look a little different rather than using the same ones over and over. But I do really like this one. If it's still available, I'll have it linked, but here's just one that I had sitting aside. Wouldn't that be so pretty right there? But I'm going to change it up, I think. We'll stamp a few of these, and if I really need to go back to my, these ones here, I will. Dang it, how'd that happen? I just couldn't help myself, you guys. I just like this one too much. So I cut those out of the matching, coordinating Desert Rose, and then I cut out some leaves out of the, I believe this is charcoal, because I don't have any of the pebbled path. So that I'm thinking a cluster down here, and then I might need to bring some stuff up into this area too, so that I have some gray spread amongst, and maybe another little something or other over here. I don't want to cover faces, but I think gray might looks good up here too. This is just a silicone mat from Stampin' Up. I'll have that linked as well. Let's go ahead and build these out. So I did punch these out in the order. So this is what those little petals look like. And I punched them out, keeping them in order because that's how they fit. They are different sizes. I am going to use my wax pencil. This works great to grab those. So I think what'll be easiest if I just do a little dot of my Barely Art Glue on these, and then come in with this. So then that brings in a little more of those colors. some of them I adhered flat, and then others I did add a little bit of dimensional to. And the center of this one I added a little bit of dimension to. So I have my leaves, and then I also have these little flowers here that I've put together. So I know I want a cluster over here, maybe a larger one. So we could go something like that. And then if I wanted to do one over here too, maybe. And then maybe one over here. I got these clusters adhered down. There's my little journaling and invitation. And I hope this layout not only inspired you to create a similar layout or use your products, but to have fun with your friends. Get your girls together and have a crafty day. Let's bring this one up closer. And I'm going to add a few little gems too. Let's go ahead and add those around. That fell out. So I have a couple different options. I have some clear ones. I have these gold ones. And I thought I had another option that I have misplaced. Oh, these glittery ones. So I'm kind of leaning towards one of these two, either the clear or the gold. And I think I have enough gold, so let's go ahead and do some clear. And I'm just going to add these into my clusters, kind of in a triangular formation. So I'm going to add one up here, and then maybe one more over here. Here's a few close-up shots before we add our flip-flaps. Now would be a great time to hit that thumbs up if you like today's video, and shoot me a comment. Do you get together with your friends and craft? Let's go ahead and get that flip-flap on. So this is lifted up on 3D foam tape. These are already down. So let's get these in the page protectors, and then I'll show you how to cut these and adhere this one. Okay, I got my pages in the page protectors. You want to make sure that they are all the way down to the bottom. And let's go ahead and start with this one first. That one will be pretty easy. So this is going to go right here. So we have that tucked in, and that's all the way in to the bottom. And this just folds over. We'll remove that paper that's protecting the adhesive. And then you just want to line up the photo with the photo and push that down. Have a Cricut scraper. You can kind of burnish that in. All right, so there we have it. It's popped up on that foam tape still. We have our little pocket, and then you can still pull this out from back there. Let's go ahead and do this one. So this one is all the way down into the page protector, and we'll just need a ruler for this technique and our X-Acto blade. Okay, so this one, I have the adhesive on this side. So we will go right here, and I can see that it goes all the way over to here. So we'll line this up with that. You could even go the other way. So if I went like this, then I can see, okay, it's right here. It's kind of hard to see with that background with this pattern paper, but it goes right here. And you just want to do it real lightly. You don't want to cut through and go into your pattern paper. And you can even do a second one, and you can kind of lift that up. And I'm just going to take my scissors and kind of snip there, snip there. And then you can pull that through. Okay. And then this one, I have the adhesive on this side. It flips this direction. So then I can go like this. And I can see that it ends here. And it ends here. Again, it's harder to see with these pattern papers, but whoop, got a little off. And then I'm just gonna move over a hair and do it again. And then you can pick that up and snip off that end. And there we go. Got more journaling back there. I have more pictures back there. And then I have my pictures here and journaling here with another picture. Thank you for spending some time with me and watching today's video. And until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye, guys.